Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we're just getting our reading in today. You can see there's a big boat there. And this is the New York City skyline.
New York.
This boat is hardly slowing down to go by that little boat. Goodness gracious, that's a bit rude. Okay, so New York City skyline there. And we're here to read from the Bhagavatam, so we're going to do that. Hare Krishna.
Canto 4, Chapter 6, Text 40. Lord Brahma satisfies Lord Shiva.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There's a little boat over there just went by, and the name of the boat is Ananda. So it's the ship of bliss.
Alright, text 40. Lord Shiva's lotus feet were worshipped by both the demigods and demons, but still, in spite of his exalted position, as soon as he saw that Lord Brahma was there among all the other demigods, he immediately stood up and offered him respect by bowing down and touching his lotus feet, just as Vamanadev offered his respectful obeisances to Kashyapa Muni. Purport. Kashyapa Muni was in the category of the living entities, but he had a transcendental son, Vamanadev, who was an incarnation of Vishnu. Thus, although Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he offered his respects to Kashyapa Muni. Similarly, when Lord Krishna was a child, he used to offer his respectful obeisances to his mother and father, Nanda and Yashoda. Also, at the Battle of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna touched the feet of Maharaj Yudhishthira because the king was his elder. It appears then that the personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva, and other devotees, in spite of their being situated in exalted positions, instructed by practical example how to offer obeisances to their superiors. Lord Shiva offered his respectful obeisances to Brahma because Brahma was his father, just as Kashyapa Muni was the father of Vamana. So nice instruction by Lord Shiva again, very nice instruction about respecting the elders and respecting the position. And not feeling, well, I'm kind of on your peer or level or whatnot, or I am the greatest Vaishnav, don't you know? That's what they say. But he got up, Lord Shiva, and offered respects to Brahma and others.
Yeah, because I guess in one sense, Lord Brahma holds the position of the head of the demigods, and also he is the father of Lord Shiva in one sense because he was born from the brow of Lord Brahma. So etiquette is such an important thing in our culture, and unfortunately a lack of education around etiquette and a lack of following etiquette can lead us to make offenses or upset people. And then we lose blessings, we lose mercy, we lose vitality and enthusiasm in our spiritual practice. So really following the etiquette is vital to success in Krishna consciousness also. And Rupa Goswami speaks about this in the Nectar of Instruction, so like that. Which one were we?
41.
Yeah, okay. All the sages who were sitting with Lord Shiva, such as Narada and others, also offered their respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma. After being so worshipped, Lord Brahma, smiling, began to speak to Lord Shiva. Purport. Lord Brahma was smiling because he knew that Lord Shiva not only easily satisfied, but easily irritated as well. that Lord Shiva is not only easily satisfied, but easily irritated as well. He was afraid that Lord Shiva might be in an angry mood because he had lost his wife and had been insulted by Daksha. In order to conceal this fear, he smiled and addressed Lord Shiva as follows. So, obviously Lord Brahma was afraid because Lord Shiva, if he gets upset, good Lord, there's, as we just seen, no end to what he can manifest. And here we go again, more noises as soon as we sit down to read.
We can't escape it. When we sit down, we pick the quietest, secluded place.
It's so quiet when we were coming here. We were just like, oh, this is so beautiful. Yeah, this is a perfect place. Let's just sit down here. Immediately, horns blowing, big ships. It is 9 in the morning though, so the ferry is about to go out. But point being that he's following etiquette, but at the same time he's smiling, trying to keep a positive demeanor, just in case Lord Shiva is actually upset.
Alright, text 42. Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller of the entire material manifestation, the combination father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, and the supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation as well. I know you in that way. Purport. Although Lord Brahma had received very respectful obeisances from Lord Shiva, he knew that Lord Shiva was in a more exalted position than himself. Lord Shiva's position is described in Brahma Samhita. There is no difference between Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva in their original positions, but still Lord Shiva is different from Lord Vishnu. The example is given that the milk in yoga is not different from the original milk from which it was made. It's different and it's not. I mean, yoga isn't milk. If you want some milk, the yogurt isn't going to satisfy you as such. Although you can make a nice smoothie out of it with some frozen berries and whatnot, but it's not the same. It's one and the same. So yeah, Lord Brahma is equally respectful back to Lord Shiva, as Prabhupada says, because he understands his exalted position. And actually Prabhupada says here, Lord Brahma knew that Lord Shiva was in a more exalted position than himself, which is interesting because as we've read way back in previous cantos, the description of Lord Brahma being born from the lotus flower sprouting from the navel of Mahavishnu and being the secondary creator, first creator being Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu. So I'd say that's pretty exalted actually. I'd say he's got a good CV going for him. But here Prabhupada is saying that actually Lord Brahma understands that Lord Shiva is in a more exalted position than him. And then goes on to explain because the difference between Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva is kind of grey. They're not, Lord Shiva isn't Lord Vishnu, but there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, he has his own tattva, whereas Lord Brahma is jiva tattva, which there are millions of jivas. He's a senior jiva, but he's still a jiva. Whereas Lord Shiva has his own tattva. He's not jiva tattva, he's Shiva tattva. And Vishnu is of course Vishnu tattva. But Shiva is also born of Vishnu ultimately because everything emanates from Lord Vishnu. So Lord Shiva, in a similar way that Krishna takes his birth in this world, and often incarnations take their birth through a Vishnu expansion. Lord Shiva himself, although he appeared from the brow of Lord Brahma, but he has an eternal form also known as Sadashiv, which I think is the Shiva that they're visiting now because they've gone to Mount Kailash. Of course, that Shiva is in the spiritual world, so maybe it's not actually. So, but Lord Shiva has an eternal form in the spiritual world as Sadashiv, And then the other manifestations of Lord Shiva, the other Rudra forms, they manifest in the material world for different pastimes, so like that. Anyway, it's very complicated. In one place, Srila Prabhupada says that Shiva Tattva is very difficult to understand. Of course, Vishnu Tattva is also difficult to understand, but Shiva Tattva is difficult. But yeah, like you were mentioning, milk and yogurt, they're basically from the same product, but they're not the same thing. But milk remains the origin of yogurt. You don't get yogurt or curd or dahi without having milk, and Vishnu is like the milk, so like that. Okay, text 43, right? That's correct? My dear Lord, you create this cosmic manifestation, maintain it and annihilate it by expansion of your personality, exactly as a spider creates, maintains, and winds up its web. Purport. In this verse, the word Shiva Shakti is significant. Shiva means auspicious and Shakti means energy. There are many types of energies of the Supreme Lord, and all of them are auspicious. Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara are called guna avatars, or incarnations of material qualities. In the material world, we compare these different incarnations from different angles of vision. But since all of them are expansions of the Supreme Auspicious, all of them are auspicious. Although sometimes we consider one quality of nature to be higher or lower than another, the mode of ignorance or tamagun is considered very much lower than the others. But in the higher sense, it is also auspicious. Interesting. The example may be given herein that the government has both an educational department and criminal department. An outsider may consider the criminal department inauspicious, but from the government's point of view, it is as important as the education department, and therefore the government finances both departments equally without discrimination. That's a pretty amazing analogy. Yeah, because usually we deride Govinda. Usually we deride Tamagun, but Lord Shiva is in charge of Tamagun, and Tamagun is also responsible for the process and purpose of destruction. So without destruction, there can't be rebirth and growth, and there can't be maintenance. So they all work together. So in that way, like Prabhupada gives that example of the prison or the school, both are funded by the government because both serve a purpose. We may consider one less auspicious, but both are important. So that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's a really nice example. Really nice example.
Okay.
Want to read on?
Yeah, one more. Sure, why not?
Right.
If you're okay.
Text 44. My dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced a system of sacrifices through the agency of daksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the 4 varnas and ashrams is respected. The Brahmanas, therefore, vow to follow this system rigidly.
That breeze is a breeze. I don't know if you can pick up on that, but it feels so good, huh?
It sure does.
Lord Shiva ki jai.
Purport. The Vedic system of Varna and Ashram is never to be neglected, for these divisions are created by the Supreme Lord Himself for the upkeep of social and religious order in human society. The Brahmanas, as the intelligent class of men in society, must vow to steadily respect this regulative principle. The tendency in this age of Kali to make a classless society and not observe the principles of Varna and Ashram is a manifestation of an impossible dream. Destruction of the social and spiritual orders will not bring fulfillment of the idea of a classless society. One should strictly observe the principles of Varna and Ashram for the satisfaction of the Creator, for it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna that the 4 orders of the social system, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, are His creation. They should act according to the regulative principles of this institution and satisfy the Lord. Just as different parts of the body all engage in the service of the Lord, the whole, jeepers. I think it's the sun.
Yeah. Those are two.
The whole is the supreme personality of Godhead in his Virat Roop or universal form. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras are respectively the mouth, arms, abdomen and legs of the universal form of the Lord. As long as they are engaged in the service of the complete whole, their position is secure. Otherwise, they fall down from their respective positions and become degraded.
Okay.
Nice point. Prabhupada makes that the tendency in this age of Kali is to make a classless society.
I was thinking,
And he says this is an impossible dream. But it's true, isn't it? It's not all is one in terms of our nature, in terms of the inclination. We just went for a brief, it felt like a long walk, but it was a brief walk yesterday. Took a wrong turning in New Jersey and oh my Lord, it was really scary. I didn't recognize where we were. Point being, different types of personalities, living standards, people like that. It's not one, because I wouldn't live there. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, we all have individual and distinct natures. We've all been given certain bodies with certain functions, capacities, abilities, talents, like that, all ultimately influenced by the modes of material nature in uniquely distinct ways. And to try to pretend that we're all the same is, in one sense you could say, a bit silly. Of course, what is it, the American Constitution, since we're in America, it says, all men are created equal. Of course, they wrote that down in the paper, but they neglected to follow it, throughout history, starting with the Indians, then starting with the African Americans, starting with anyone else, more or less, who came here who wasn't specifically from Europe, I guess, somewhere, Great Britain. But, yes, all men are created equal in this sense on the spiritual platform, 108% absolutely for sure. Just as in the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's 5:29, Vidyavinaya Sampani Brahmani Gavi Hastani Shuni Chaiva Swapake Cha Pandita Samadarshanaha, that Pandit sees with Samadarshana, sees with equal vision a brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. Sees them with equal vision. But in the purports, Srila Prabhupada touches on, and in lectures Prabhupada mentions, but that doesn't mean we treat the cow the same way we treat the dog, and we don't treat the Brahman the same way we would treat the dog eater or the elephant. So there's a distinction. There is a bodily distinction that we still have to deal with that bodily platform, but we should deal with it in a respectful manner, understanding that we're all spiritual beings. So in that sense, we are created equal. But yeah, I thought this was a really powerful point, again, that the tendency is to think everyone is equal and everyone is the same, and it's just not true.
No.
And it's such an impersonalistic mentality and philosophy.
Yeah.
And actually the glory is not in us being the same, it's in how unique and individual we all are, and how that glorifies the Lord, to show how amazing He is, that He's created so many unique and distinctly individual personalities. So like that. Just a thought. Anything else from your side? Okay, so maybe we wrap it up here. Thank you very much for your kind attention again. So we'll try to get as many readings in as we can while we're here in the U.S. of all day. And please read Srimad Bhagavatam. Remember that Bhadra Purnima is coming up, so if you don't have a set of Srimad Bhagavatams and you'd like a set, whether you're here in America, in the US, in the UK, in Europe, wherever you are in the world, we will try to help you get a set of Bhagavatams, right?
Sure.
Hare Krishna everyone, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.